Here we are. It's local support planning meeting. It's been, I guess, a couple of weeks. I was away last week. I'm going to be away again next week. Elena is here with me. Yeah, I guess we could probably, particularly since you're here, Elena, we could just get straight into, you've got a pull request in, and we could just look straight at that, couldn't we?
Yes, of course. Actually, it's very small. It's only about that hovering effect.
Right.
5 lines of code, but I was able to do it without any features, so I added it on my pull request. Also, actually, I suppose perhaps maybe that's something local issues, because some other issues. Because I had an issue which was about when this list, when we are on this Volox index page. Have this list with mouse over and relevant hover effect. Actually, the problem was for me that my table was not wide enough, so it was not covered the whole div, which is supposed to cover, but on the part of it. I could not change editing because I reviewed its CSS on production. I reviewed CSS on other, and it's the same CSS. So I decided to just not touch it in case I will break something. But if it will be that this issue will arise on, for example, on development or some testing stage. So because it's not a big deal, just I need just to add this with a parameter. Make it width.
Yeah, at the moment, I'm not really following what we're talking about. I kind of understand that you're talking about some sort of problem that you encountered, but I'm not really understanding what it is. I was just pulling up here, so this is okay. Yeah, so you've done it like this. This is the CSS, and I can see. Yeah, this looks lovely. So as you mouse over the individual row there, yeah, that looks fantastic.
Okay.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I do love I love pull requests like this because they're so easy to what's the word? They're so easy to review. I can sort of see there. I can see that it works. I mean, it's an interesting thing with these kinds of CSS ones is whether there should be some test to check for them. Do you have a feeling one way or the other if there should be some test for this?
Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe if there was more changes to CSS code, necessary. But basically, it just hover effect, and I think if to test it, it's in future it would be better to test in general. Like for example, if we mouse over, so the necessary pop-up is open.
Oh no, I agree. I mean, the interesting thing with any of the CSS testing is that kind of the test would have to be very specific. So it would have to check. It would just check for the presence of this. It wouldn't check for whether the experience was as the user hoped. I'm certainly leaning towards these days thinking that these don't need to be they don't need to be tested because it's kind of immediately obvious whether they're working or not, kind of thing. So I'm tempted to merge this, and yeah, I guess that also and that's lovely because what it means is that we can maybe push that out, because I was just sort of a little bit worried about pushing that out without some sort of indication to the user as to why the map was centering. Yeah, so I guess, did you have a chance to talk to Michael about this issue?
No, because I was not during last week. I was not down, and actually I have not exactly ability to sit and talk through something. But I need to add that if you remember, I started my input with reporting issue, and I see you don't have this issue. That's perhaps my something local, because it was CSS issue, and I see your screen, and I don't see it happening at all. So.
Ah, you don't have this issue where the point is different.
I was talking about my table issue. Like we have table here on this page, HTML table, and we have all this.
You say typo. The word there's a typo on the page. I'm not understanding.
No. Actually, everything is okay because that's something my local problem.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Can I just stop you there, Elena, and just say, in general, I think when you're trying to explain something, if you could show me on a screen share what you're talking about, it would make it much easier for me to understand what you're saying. I think you have a very clear idea in your mind about what you're trying to explain, but just from the slightly the audio is okay. It's not wonderful. Is there something that you want to explain? Do you think you might share your screen with me while you explain it?
Well, there is, I see it's okay, so there is no need. I will
Okay.
review it. Perhaps that's something with my own files and my own settings. So that's not.
Okay, but I'm still interested. I would still be interested to see if you're seeing something strange locally. Do you want to share your screen?
Okay, I can start, but I need a couple of minutes because I need to open Cloud9 and.
You don't have it ready to show, is what you're saying?
Yes. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, you could pull that up in the background. What I'd say in general is, getting ready for the meetings. If you've got and anything that you want to talk about, if it's there and quick to show. But
that was
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's great. You take your time in the background. I guess we'll have just a quick look then at the other pull requests. I think now this one, if this has passed, we've got one from Lokesh. Lokesh said he was going to join us in about 10 minutes. He's got here some changes that upgrade some of our that upgrades Nokogiri to remove some vulnerabilities. So that should certainly be merged in. We can get that done. Let's have a look at what else we've got in here. So we've got also Lokesh has been looking at refactoring. We've been having a discussion there. I guess we've got a further one here, which maybe we'll dive into if he comes along. So then we've also got now this one. Has he ended up disabling those things? That looks good. Yeah, we'll merge that in. So that's a slightly aggressive Rubicop command that we don't need. I haven't, and Ray hasn't been around recently. That's a shame. I guess he's got something that's still kind of say Ray around. Question mark. Now Maru has updated this thing there, and I need to give him a review, but I'm just so behind at the moment. That's so that's a little quick look through the pull requests. We could just nip over here and look at the board and see what's going on. And let's see where we are. So Lokesh has been getting through lots of work. So we've got this. This was a fix that you put in a while ago. Actually, one thing that I sort of struggle with this one is like being able to in order to replicate it in production, I would need to see the actual situation. It's sort of I keep on sort of looking at it with the client, and then we go to the live site. Oh, hello Daniel, how's it going? Got a new guest. You're welcome. We're just reviewing things for the local support project this week. Good to have you with us. I hope you can hear our audio okay. Just say hi Dan, in case he's not looking. Now what is it? It should be .uk. So this is the main site here. let's see, let me log in there as admin. And so then we're logged in, and this is accepting a proposed organization. And it's, so look, I think we don't have any, yeah. So in the absence of pending proposed organizations, it's difficult to finally say that we've definitely fixed the bug on production. So I don't know if you have any ideas about, I guess I should like propose, I guess maybe what I could do is I could delete our Agile Ventures organization and repropose it and then see if that works. It seems a little bit strong, but
let's just create some any kind of organization and then try to accept it, and it will
right, and then delete it afterwards. Yeah, that will be the way to go. Yeah, so we've got, I mean, I did see the client last Friday, but I didn't have time to go through the site. So we've got a few things to get approved. I think we've, yeah, if I could start to roll things out. We could check here about the develop site, which I guess will take a while. It won't have your latest changes in it, but we should roll out the latest things. So I think and then the space has been fixed. We've fixed some issues there. Okay, yeah, and so Lokesh has been working on this volunteer ops home thing, other things there, security issues. And then this one here, this is the would like hover element. Okay, yes. So this is the one that you were just working on. Now I noticed that I've just merged this, but this didn't automatically close itself.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, have you been, I've been through this with Lokesh. Have you followed this setup so that we've got, where's it gone? If we have the task ID in this format in the pull request, mm-hmm. then it's will automatically close the pivotal tracker issue for us.
Okay, I understand. I see. Please include a comment in this format. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so that's just, I mean, I can do it manually here, but it's a nice feature. It means that, mm-hmm. you know, there's one less thing to remember there. I mean, it's not as nice as integration as we get with, gosh, what's it called, Waffle and GitHub. But great, so that's finished, and I'll work on delivering that for you. Yeah, and so then we've got the, yeah, this was what, yeah, you and Michael might have worked on. He's been around earlier in the week, not around today. Yeah, so I think there's no need to be voting on any new stories. There's certainly more things to work on. Did you want to show me the strange thing that you were seeing on your computer?
Yes. Also, I wanted to ask one thing about what with those pop-ups. How should they look like?
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, do you want to share your screen?
No. Before I remember, I will share right now. But also, I wanted to ask because what about those pop-ups when now map is centering, but still is not this. It was not decided what should we display when it is centering. So, did client express any ideas what would be good?
Yeah, not yet, unfortunately. I mean, I think it might be a question of, as I was maybe saying last time, of working out what's easy to do, if you know what I mean. I mean, we've got these options of, I guess the two things we talked about is popping up the existing thing underneath, which was quite difficult the first time around, or doing something that I guess, let's go back over to this one, it's easier. Like if we're moving around like this, it could be that we were just filling like a black dot into the, you know, just changing the icon slightly. And yeah, I would say, you know, if you can get something working, you know, that looks okay, that's probably the way to go. You know, or so if you've got icon alternatives, I mean, what would be great would be to do something like, if you, I don't know if you've got Keynote or PowerPoint or what have you, and just create, you know, a little mock-up of, you know, what you think the different things would look like. So one can, you know, take a little screenshot of this and say, oh, okay, you know, let's imagine that it starts off with, I'll get this Dropbox to screenshots there. So I just take the last one there. So we could say, you know, that it starts like this, and then I can make a copy of that, and then I can just, you know, even here I can sort of take a little circle and stick that in here, and say, you know, this is what I would hope it to look like. I'm going to go in there and make that blacky. But anyway, but you know what I mean? Like, if we can mock something up to show the client that we're imagining this kind, you know, this sort of transition, then I think that that's, you know, that's super helpful. But to at the same time, you know, it's whatever's easy. Were you saying that you think now that we have separated it out, it's going to be easy to just pop up the correct thing?
Like just open pop-up like it is now? Open?
Yeah, like for, as we moused over this thing, we would center it and we would pop up the relevant element.
I think it's possible to do. We will have to create quite a bit of JavaScript. Actually, that's not quite a bit. We will have to create a JavaScript array. And, now when we open this page and the page is being created for the first time. So generate this map, and we generate all these markers. But actually, how it is now, we cannot later get to them. So we open them, but it's inside this Gmap piece of code. But still, though, they exist, and we just can, while generating them, also put them to the special array of markers. And then simply we just open the relevant, we get from that array the relevant element, and open it. And perhaps it would be the whole issue.
Yeah, well, I would say explore and see what you can do easily. I think whether we, you know, I think both approaches would be fine. You know, just popping up I mean, the critical thing was when we did the pop-ups last time, that when we pop them up, we couldn't close them. So I think if we are going to pop up these little things, then they have to be closable. And if we pop up over one of them, then when we mouse over to a different one, the one that was open before is going to have to close, and the new one's going to have to open. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's going to have to clear up after itself. So if that seems difficult, then I would go for, you know, if it's really easy to just make an icon change as we move around, then let's do that.
Wait a minute. I'm thinking.
Well,
okay, I will explore it. I can show now my screen. Let's show. Do you see it?
I do, yes. Yeah.
So actually, my problem was very simple, and I think that's only local, because as I said previously, on development and on production, I have not encountered it. So because, for example, when we move over, we can see that these cells in table, they get the whole 1% of width. But half of them. And I was thinking that actually this issue is very easy to solve because you just need to put that what it is here. So we have this TD element, and then
Uh-huh.
put here width, and that's all. Or
Right,
even
right, right.
yes, but I did not wanted to do this because, as I saw, the code was working okay in development, in production, and just to add more lines, I
Yeah.
if it not break something else. So
Mm.
I wanted to seek out some feedback if it's on my local issue or it's happening everywhere. And I see, I see your screen, and I see that it's everything is all right, and there is no need to add this with
Yeah, and I think it's, you know, I mean, I've got a sort of an old copy of the production data. I think when at least one of the things has that much text in it,
mhm.
it's just, it's, you know, setting the width for all of them. I mean, it's sort of, you know, if somebody else was, yeah, it seems like there is a fix for that there, but it's certainly not a high priority. I mean, like by comparison, having it so that I think for me, this this issue that we have here, where the thing is popping up, and the, you know, the little white thing here is not aligned with the pin in the map. That's far more pressing for a production fix compared to you know, the one you're describing there. So yeah, no, we'll have an investigation of you know, changing the icon, and maybe have a look at, you know, understanding why this you know, white thing is not aligning, and that would be really helpful. Michael, you know, should be around, you know, on other days, so do reach out to him for help in the LocalSupport channel.
Okay, of course. I think it's closer to the weekend, perhaps Saturday.
Mm.
I will see to review all the stuff and write to Michael.
Mm.
We will create some pair programming session and close this issue, so it will be easier to roll out some.
Yeah, great,
Actually,
great.
I think maybe while I'm uh, I have opened the local sort, started local server. Maybe perhaps I will try and create this. It's not a bug. It's okay. I was thinking about this two flashes issue, but I understand.
Yeah, no, don't worry about that. Okay, well, great, Alina. We'll just go on to Lokesh. Lokesh, we've already merged in a few of your pull requests. Great work. You know, you're really getting through those. Is there, I guess, you've got some questions for me about the refactoring of this code here. I guess one thing that's it's a little bit difficult to read there. How are things going with you generally, Lokesh? Is there anything blocking your progress on the project?
No, it's going great. I've started to enjoying it.
Oh, fantastic. That's great to hear. That's great to hear. Yeah, no, you're really working through the pull request. It's fantastic. Yeah, so I guess here with is it helpful to discuss the bits and pieces here, or what's the thing that will help you make best progress next?
Yeah, yeah. If you could answer my question on the pull request, that would be great.
Yeah, let's have a look here. I mean, you're kind of proposing here that we sort of, you know, check for the if current using, and then, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's what, I guess what I really want to do here, and maybe I'll just pull it up, is pull up the code in RubyMine and have a look at what's going on. Because as I was saying to you before, I think one of the key things here is about understanding what the broader code is trying to do, and then, you know, if we're going to refactor and we're going to pull out a method, or we're going to rearrange things or extract a new variable, then we want to be trying to make it so that it's going to be easier for the next person coming along to understand what the intention of the code is. Did you manage to get a copy of the refactoring Ruby book?
No,
No.
I will. Yeah, I will try soon.
Great. Yeah. Let me just see if I can navigate quickly to excuse me, the appropriate part of local support. And so what actually is okay, so now we've got RubyMine. I have been suffering some difficulties with Hangouts when I try and run too many things in parallel. And I can see the my CPUs going a bit nuts there, but it looks like it's not a runaway kernel task. So here, this file is in fact, it's the application controller file. And so
Yeah.
here, if we come in and look at the controllers, application controller, I'm actually in there. So the place that we're working on is this, it's this devise hook here, right? And so what we've got is a setup here where, depending upon circumstances, we are trying to do a number of different things. So it's right, we've got that one there. And again, the particular issue that you're trying to address is this very long line here. Now, you're saying you worked out that you could remove the organization fine, didn't you?
Yeah.
And so I guess what I really want to understand here is, what is this actually doing? This is returning the organization path for the, right, so we've got one of these things where we have to check that if this exists, like if the user, and so like there's sort of a flag mechanism being going on here that I guess we've got. Have we got like a pending, we've got a proposed organizations controller here that what is that? So it's a pending organization ID. So proposed organization controller pending. Oops. No, right. Pending organization ID. So is the pending organization ID must be being set somewhere else. So we can find in path pending, like so. You can see my computer struggling with all of this. Okay. Okay. Right, so we've got the login form and the register form all trying to handle that. Okay, what have we got going on here? Apps, controllers, 14 occurrences. See, this is a thing where, I don't know, I maybe need a new computer to manage doing the things that I want to do here. At least we can see here, this is RubyMine that's going nuts and taking up the CPU.
Oh my God.
Okay. So we can see there that this, right, so this is the place where, okay, now this is the place, this is just like the device controller passing these things on from the params to the session. What I'm interested in here is the place in which, where is the pending organization ID set? I guess that's maybe, it's just in the, right. So basically the pending organization ID, I think that comes in as a parameter when people have clicked, this is my organization, right? So then if we think about what's happening here in the application controller, so asking about the current, right, it comes through, it's so in some ways, like this question here is, right, it seems to me that what this is it's we're asking, it's like user claimed organization. question mark. And so you may, you know, have mixed feelings about what I'm going to do here, but what I'm trying to do is adjust it so that this line of text here, and this is like, and now let's take that out. And we could say, I'm not saying that these are the best things, but what do you think, Lokesh, about this refactoring?
Yeah, that looks more sensible. Easy to read.
Yeah, and it tells us something about like what's going on here. Now, I might have, you know, I mean, I've worked on this code on and off over the last 4 years. I might have misunderstood what the context in which pending organization ID, you know, where that's coming from. I mean, I'm sort of seeing it. It's clearly being used here in this situation. That in that one, I guess if we've got other things here. I mean, just superficially, it looks like this is the place that it's being set. You know, we set a pending organization ID, and that's because if we set organization ID for that user, they would automatically be updated and they would have it. But this is indicating that, right, this user is saying that they think they should be associated with it, and now the admin is going to approve that subsequently. So, I mean, what we would want in the ideal world is that the language of all these things, the text of this is my organization, the way it's described in the database, the way it's described in the code was the same. You know, the language matched. That's often difficult to achieve. So I'm kind of like, what's it's like, you know, pending. I mean, almost it would seem like here that would be better if it would said requested organization ID, because pending organization ID, looking at it doesn't mean to it. So this could be, you know, claimed organization ID. It could be requested organization ID. I'm almost tempted here, like requested organization admin status. Like I think, and then we could. Like that. So I'm going to say I think, you know, and then there's like how much time do you spend on it and so on. But I think that's trying to give a hint as to why we are doing this check. You know what I mean? And hopefully that will come in under the line number. So there we go. That's my thoughts there. And this one, it's like, I think this one here is fine for the time being to break that up. I mean, again, I think the thing to do is to reflect on, is there some way to make it clearer what it's doing with that? So again, that's also application controller. What's that, line 101? That's, where's that? Oh, it's here. Like set flash warning to reminder to update details. And then we're going to say if the user has an organization, and it's not the case that the organization has been updated recently. Yeah, I mean, see, it would almost seem to me that this should be pulled out into a separate method. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you know, it's doing this render to string. Is it sort of taking a, you know, yeah. But I leave it up to you to think over.
Okay.
You know, I mean, everybody has different rules of thumbs for these things. The you know, there's this idea that you should try and keep methods to 5 lines or less. So if we make the adjustment here that you're describing is like this, then you know, this bit becomes kind of easy to read, but the rest of it is kind of, it feels like this could be rewritten to be, let's say if there's like if there's a flash warning, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I mean that there is then 4 lines. That could be a separate method. I leave it up to you. Okay, well, I better go on now. Is there anything else that we need to sort out as regards the project?
Oh, I have no questions.
Yeah, great. So, well, I'm going to be away next week. Feel free to hold the meeting without me. I'll certainly try and hope to have a meeting with the client before the next meeting that I'm going to be at in 2 weeks. But thanks so much for your time and attention, and look forward to seeing some more pull requests.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye for now. Take care.
Thank you,
Have a
sir.
nice weekend.
You too. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.